Welcome back to the Marching to Madness College Basketball Podcast with my good friend from the Liberty Flames, Ritchie McKay, checking in with us today. The Flames are once again the favorite in the Atlantic Sun, but Coach McKay and I said, hey, it's done on the floor, and we know they're good. He has 199 wins here at Liberty, plus an overall 340 and 233 career record in 20 seasons as a head coach. Coach, welcome back.
Ken, always a pleasure to be on with you, man. You're one of the most astute college basketball media or fans that live this side of the Mississippi. So thank you, man, for having me on. Always a pleasure to be a part of your day.
Thank you very much, Coach. Hey, looking at your basketball team, just discuss the opportunity of having Darius McGhee back.
Well, how long does this last? Because I could go on and on about having Darius return for his COVID season. It's actually his fifth season.
Fifth season, okay.
And he already has accomplished, well, he's tied for the most wins as a Liberty basketball player. He's got 104. He's on pace, Ken, to rewrite the record books from an individual standpoint at Liberty, and deservedly so. We don't have a ton of history. We've only been a university since 1971 and Division I since the mid 80s. So, but boy, Darius McGhee has been arguably the best, if he's one of the best, if not the best, that ever donned a uniform. So when he gave me the news, it was really very Darius McGhee like. He was exploring options. He had chances to play in the Reese's All-Star game, Portsmouth. He had a chance to just put his name in and say he's going to do some workouts. A ton of agents were inquiring about him, and he probably received a few DMs from other institutions around the country offering some opportunities per the NIL. And man, he just, again, unceremoniously said, hey, Coach, I think I'm going to come back. And I said, you are? And I stopped right there asking questions and said, okay, well, here. But and Ken, the subplot of that, he didn't ask for one thing. He didn't ask for NIL stuff. He didn't say, hey, we need to recruit this guy. It just speaks volumes to his person, the relationship that he has with his teammates, and his experience at Liberty. It's been one in which that I hope we can continue to invest positively into his life, because he's certainly done that for us.
Sure. I was going to ask you about his growth as a player from the time you remember him coming in as a freshman until now.
Yeah, I think par for the course with the pack line defense. The longer you're in it, the better you become. I think Darius has become a much better defender. You really can't take advantage of his stature or lack of height, if you call it that, in this game. At 5'9", boy, he's tough as nails, and he's hard to post. He's a really good on-ball defender now. And then offensively, he's just, man, he does some really innovative things out there, Ken. Honestly, we've kind of tweaked our offensive system to try and maximize his individual prowess. He's a way better creator than he's given credit for. People talk about his scoring acumen, and he can do that. Trust me. He's got great range. He's our version of what Steph was at Davidson, or maybe even the role that he has with the Warriors. Not saying he's Steph Curry, but he's our version of it.
Yeah, that's very cool. I know you have 4 returning starters, but you lose a really important part in Keegan McDowell. How do you replace his presence and what he was able to do for the Flames?
Yeah, really good point. Keegan McDowell was and is an exceptional leader, and he had been through the hard. Kara Lawson said on that national media post that it's not about thinking that hard's going to go away. It'll always be present. Our maturity is reflected in how we handle hard better. And Keegan McDowell was the poster child for that. Because he was going to transfer and decide to come back and finish his time at Liberty, and boy, I can't tell you enough about the deposit that he left. So that's hard to replace. But Ken, you and I both know every team is different. Like
Yeah.
the chemistry, the expectations, all of that needs to be reestablished or redefined in order to be further. So what I love about this team is Kyle Rode, who is another exceptional leader, maybe the best I've ever been around, irregardless of age. His voice it permeates in and through our program every day. And then Blake Preston, who's coming back for his 6th year. Shiloh Robinson, he's grown in such a way that I think he's at times unrecognizable. And Darius, so those guys have been through it. Like we're old from those 4 individuals. However, we still got some youth and experience at other spots. And but I like the way our group is coming together. Ken, I mean this, they're a fabulous group to coach. Their representation of their families, their family names, and our university, our men's basketball program, exceptional.
Sure. You mentioned Kyle Rode and Shiloh Robinson there. I know Kyle was your leading assist man. He's also a key on the boards, while Robinson shot 65.2% from 2-point range inside the arc.
Yeah, those two they don't get enough credit for how much they help us on both ends. And throw Blake in, I said 6th year, Blake's 5th year, throw him into that mix because it's a 3-headed monster. And whether it's scoring, rebounding, defending, all 3 of them will accept and execute whatever role that they need to play in order to win the game. And you just don't get that every day with different teams. So all 3 of those guys deserve the credit that they get.
Sure. Blake, now what's his, I don't want to say his best ability, but the ability that you might use in a game if the matchup calls for it.
Yeah, Ken, I don't know if you're an X-Men fan, but the character Mystique, she can morph into any kind of character that she wants to in order for the given circumstance. That's Blake. And I mean that as a compliment. If we need rebounding, he rebounds. Defense, he defends. He's got an ability to score, although he's really unselfish and a very good passer. So I think it's characteristic of our group and why they're so enjoyable to coach, because they really care about the team and its success. And we really try to pursue authenticity in one of our pillars, teamship, we over me. And I think that's reflected in how much those guys sacrifice their individual stuff for the betterment of our group.
As I was doing research, I ran into Joseph Van Zandt, who it said, or I noticed that he already has accomplished some abilities on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, he's exceptional on that end of the floor. I hesitate to say too much about him that way because if you do, you would think he's just a one end of the floor player, and he's not. He's improved his last year, again, as a freshman. I think he started 32 of 33 games, and he often deferred. He's still willing to do what it takes to win the game, but he's evolving into a more complete player. But I love what he does defensively. I think he and Shiloh, in a very good league, would both be Defensive Player of the Year candidates.
Wow. Now, his offensive capabilities, where did he start at and what did he improve maybe most?
I just think his willingness to take and make threes. I think he can play off the bounce. It just depends on, our matchups, how we're flowing offensively. We have a tendency to, when we get stuck, we just stand and watch Darius, and we've got to do a better job as a coaching staff giving them solutions that way. And I think Joseph's improvement will assist that.
Coach, you guys shot 38.3% from the 3-point line last year. It was 8th in college basketball. How do you game plan for the 3-point shots inside of your offense for a particular game?
We just try and take what the defense gives us, down the stretch. A lot of people were daring other people to beat him besides Darius, and our percentage actually tailed off. Again, it's been an emphasis this summer, and just continue to get reps and inspire a belief in our guys and ultimately empower them. Like, that's part of the game, and we want to use it to our advantage. So, I think our guys know what a good shot looks like for Liberty, and I think just their unity and their willingness to play selflessly lends to some decent opportunities that maybe help us make a few behind the arc.
Behind the arc, yeah. Now, you picked up a 5'9" freshman in Colin Porter. Will McGhee be a mentor for him going forward?
Yeah, I think he's probably 5'10.5", just a side note. I love our freshman class. Ken, you mentioned Colin. He's a freshman from Ashland, Kentucky. He played for Jason Mays in high school, who's a terrific coach. He's a college coach. And I think he's as prepared for this level as any freshman I've seen in terms of his defensive ability and understanding of positioning and team defense. And then offensively, he's just a natural. Like, he's really got instincts that I think propel confidence from the people that he plays with. I think you could talk to his teammates at Ashland or EAB, Tennessee, his AAU team. I think he's really ready. And there's another one, Zach Cleveland, who's from Normal, Illinois. Played for another really good high school coach, Coach Witzik. And oddly enough, his mom played at Illinois State, and she might be the most astute basketball mom I've been around. She's in the top 5 for sure. But cool. Zach has a basketball IQ that gets him on the floor right away. Like, he's a tremendous addition. And then Ben Sutherland, who I think he's going to be special. We don't have room for all these guys, so there's a chance we may redshirt one of them. But I really like the class that we signed. J.C. Shire is a walk-on from Texas that we added, and he's going to redshirt. But this class will be remembered for a while if any of their early indications are come to fruition. I think our fans are going to be excited about this group.
What parts of the game now allow you to, run, create tempos, create the 3-point game?
Getting the ball to Darius McGhee.
Yeah.
I think by way of Ken Palm, maybe it's synergy. I can't remember which one. One of my assistants told me Darius had the highest usage rate in the country last year. So we leaned on him a ton. And he is such a creative scorer. There's sometimes you just gotta sit back and watch and say, "All right, Darius, do your thing." But I do think we have a group that is willing to take advantage of numbers, but also willing to play in the half court if need be.
Last thing, Coach. Lots of rumors. I've been asking everybody this since I came back. NCAA tournament expansion. I'm curious as what your opinion would be of that. Plus, how do you do it and make it healthy?
Yeah, there's a lot smarter people than me that could probably speak to that. I'll be honest. I'm in the camp of expanding the tournament. I think it's really difficult to make the NCAA tournament. I get that having so few spots makes it a little bit more of a reward. However, we leave some good teams out every year. I mean, think of the year ECU, who was one of the last teams in, went to the Final Four, or gosh, there's another example that they just referenced the other day.
Wichita State, it might be.
Wichita State was one of them. I just think, I think the easy thing to do would be to go to 72 and have 8 games in that 2-day window, either in Dayton or one at Dayton University, maybe one at Wright State, or put it on put it west of the Mississippi in Denver or something. I think that'd be the easiest way. But truth be told, I think 96 would be a fabulous number. You give 32 teams first round buys.
That's what I said.
Yeah, and then go from there, because look, we play in the ASUN conference, and I mean, there are some great coaches in
There
this league.
sure are. Yeah.
With Ray Harper, Lenny Acup. I could go down the list. Matt Driscoll's terrific. Amir's doing an unbelievable job at Kennesaw. Scott Davin. Like, there are legitimately, and now there's 14 teams. So
Yeah.
said at the beginning, we're preseason favorites. That means absolutely zero. And it's really hard to win a really good league. So I just think I wish there was some room for a margin for error if you have a great season and you don't win your conference tournament in a really competitive league. And I think there should be another entry point for those teams. No disrespect to the NIT, because that's a privilege as well, or the CIT or the CBI. But boy, I think there's some opportunities for the big dance that we could capitalize on as a game, and it would help every member institution in the NCAA. So that's my thoughts, Ken.
That's generally my thoughts. I had the 96 teams with 32 buys, the top 32, and then those others you can have it at the same site.
Yeah.
So nobody has to travel.
Yeah, I like it, Ken. Maybe we should put you on the committee.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Coach Ritchie McKay, ladies and gentlemen, the Liberty Flames coach, it's great to see you, and I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you this season.
Dan, great to see you in good health, man. Thanks again for all you do for the game, and I wish you all the best. Come visit us in Lynchburg if you get a chance.
I definitely will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.